Hey, welcome back to Norton Man Reviews. I am John Norton, and I am reviewing stuff and things. Here we got The Savage Wolverine by Frank Cho. Kill Island. Okay, cool. This is a collection. I do have like the single issues, but that I was going to do, but I was at the took my son to the library to get him some books, and I picked up a few things from the library myself, and I just got this one because, why not? This is collecting issues 1 through 5 of The Savage Wolverine. It was a new title, and it's done by Frank Cho all by himself. He did let's look at the ass of Shauna, the she-devil, for one. But writer and artist is Frank Cho. I pick up anything Frank Cho does as an artist. I really dig him in a lot of different ways. He can draw a lot of unique stuff. I mean, he is known for his female figure. A lot of artists make their name off doing, sexy, erotic art or just being able to draw female figures really well. J. Scott Campbell, Michael Turner was kind of known for that. Adam Hughes is extraordinarily good at it. A dozen others, like a bunch of others. Frank Cho, he likes to draw women, and I get it. And he draws them, super heroic, and, muscular, but like very sexy. And Rusty's back. He's always going to be here. He's my co-host. Say hi, Rusty. But don't move the camera. Get out of here. Love you, buddy. But Frank Cho also, he loves to draw creatures and dinosaurs and that kind of stuff. So from what I understand, Marvel came to him or he went to them. You might talk about it in here at some point. But he had this pitch, and he's like, this is what I want to draw for Wolverine. And he just, got to draw whatever he wanted. And why not? I like a lot of Frank Cho's black and white stuff. And there's some stuff here at the back, which we'll look at when we get there a little bit, just his pencil and inks uncolored. He's an exceptionally good artist. He came over from Marvel. He did some Mighty Avengers, and he did a lot of stuff with Brian Michael Bendis. He did the Shauna, was it Shauna the She-Devil, that mini-series, but it wasn't this Shauna from, who's with Kazar and from the Savage Land. It was an entirely different character. I'm going to get into that for sure one of these days. But he also started doing a book when he was in college, a comic strip called Liberty Meadows, which is really funny. Rusty, come on, dude. Love you, but come on. But anyways, great artist. I love him. I think he's way better at drawing women and drawing creatures than he is at drawing superheroes and men. I mean, this is cool Wolverine, but that's not where he excels. That's not what I'm picking up his stuff for. That's Frank Cho as an artist. Frank Cho as a writer isn't bad. He's no Alan Moore. He's no Brian Michael Bendis. Whoever your favorite like comic writer is. He just knows what he wants to write about and what he wants to draw. And he can compose a decent story where you understand what is going on for the most part. So this isn't like the best piece of like literature or writing that you're ever going to find. It's kind of a very uncomplicated story, but that's fine. So let's see, what do we got here? Color artist Jason Keith. He does the colors in this, and then you got the letters and editors and all that kind of stuff. Letters page designed by Chris Eliopoulos. I know that name. How do I know that name? I don't know. But this was first printed in 2014. So let's get to it. He does these cool covers, right? He does like the the main picture, which is usually Wolverine in all these covers, in traditional black and white and then colored, inked. But then he does these cool compositions and layouts. He usually has a sexy shot of Shauna on there, and then some crazy creatures or unique characters also in there. And from my understanding, I think he does this stuff with the ballpoint pen. I know he does those. I don't know if this is what this is exactly. I've said before, my brother Robert Norton, or Rob Norton, his channel, which everyone should go and visit and subscribe. I mean, most people who are watching are probably already aware of him and probably already subscribers of his. But he has a better understanding of the techniques that artists are using, and he has the eye for that, which I don't. So I don't know if he's done much on Frank Cho, but I'm sure he's going to get into some of his stuff. So go check out Rob's channel, because he is way more insightful about art and art techniques and different artists and their styles and how they do things and inking and all that. So, Robert, is this the ballpoint pen? I don't know. You tell me. I think it is, but I don't know. Anyways, so it starts off with this this flying thing, and it's a shield vehicle. What do they call it? It's not a helicarrier. It's not a Quinjet. I don't know. We got some shield agents, and they're over the Savage Land, and let's see, geological cartography mission. So they're kind of getting a lay of the land, and with them is Shauna. And they're talking about a forbidden island that they're going to. Elders have told us it's a sacred place and must not be disturbed. Something about black magic or something, she says. So she is an expert of the Savage Land. That's why they brought her along. But she's like, don't go to the forbidden island. No one's supposed to go there. And it hasn't been mapped out by any surveyor team. But they're like, are you superstitious, Shauna? She says, no. So good girl. They want to go check it out. So on the island is this fucking crazy mountain statue, which looks like Man-Thing, right? I don't know what Man-Thing does. I've never really read a comic from him. I've watched that Disney Plus special, Werewolf by Night, where he showed up, which I found very enjoyable and interesting. He was kind of funny in that. But whatever, it kind of looks like Man-Thing. They're talking about it. They're looking at it, surveying it. Weird energy buildup, and there's a weird energy and it's fucking with them, and they're starting to have a bumpy ride. Magnetic shift, losing stabilizers, full reverse, get us out of here. Doing a lot of these little panels here, and his art isn't really telling the story of what's going on. You can kind of see them rocking around, but it's just from them telling you what's going on. But the little craft, it's fallen out of the sky. And there's nothing they can do about it, and they crash. Now, I'm going to point out several times, which is an interesting thing that Cho likes to do, because he did the layouts for all these, where he has a lot of like blank white space on his pages. That, I don't know, me as an artist, when I'm doing layouts for my pages, I'm like, I gotta put something there. It's just wasted space. Maybe, like, it's unnecessary. Like, I don't need to fill everything. And maybe he does it, like, I don't really notice it a lot of time, but I've been noticing it more and more, especially when I was rereading this for the reviews. Rusty's making noise down there. I hope he didn't bring in a fucking mouse or a rat. 8 months later. And there's these tribesmen, and they're pointing over something. They see this flash in the distance. And he says, the Dark Walker stirs in his sleep again. See who he has brought this time. And send out the Reapers. And these fucking weird things go flying. Now, if you know anything about the Savage Land, it's filled with all sorts of dinosaurs and all kind of crazy stuff. So who knows what this is. And then it goes to Wolverine. Now, I had to go through this a couple of times. I was like, and realize this Flash was Wolverine being brought here. I'm still a little uncertain as to why or how. I mean, I know how and what brought him here, but why? I don't know. Maybe I just didn't read it good enough. But Wolverine's there, laying on his ass, and now going into like these word boxes, and this is Wolverine's internal monologue, and he's like, where am I? He smells. Oh, it smells like the Savage Land, and he's, he knows all about the Savage Land. If you watch my New Avengers review, you'll see he was in there in the Savage Land when they were there. It was kind of cool. So out of nowhere, fucking Velociraptor just jumps on his ass, and a bunch of little scenes here of them fighting. It's really close up, so it's not like he choreographed a fight. You just get the fact that they're tussling and wrestling, and he kills it. Stabs it right through the head. Yup, the Savage Land. So you can see how good Cho is with being able to draw dinosaurs and creatures and stuff like that. He's really, really good. So, goes back, internal monologue, more space. And then he's looking around, trying to figure out what he's here, and he finds a footprint, he follows it, and he sees, again, some of these tribesmen, and they're carrying a shield agent, a la, Han and Luke in Return of the Jedi. So he's like, that's not good. I like that, with that drawing of the shading and shadows and stuff. I launched silently into the night. My training and instinct take over. Okay, Wolverine. I mean, that's part of like the writing that I just don't quite enjoy, when you have to have an internal monologue telling you what's going on. That's just me though. So he jumps in. He wants to save the shield agent from these guys. So he's like fighting them. He thought they would scatter when they saw him, but no, these are seasoned warriors. They stand their ground. They come at him. They're going after him, but like he goes into his berserker mode pretty fast, and he's chopping shit up. Like Cho likes to do some of the violent shit. So he's chopping shit up, taking a little bit off the top, all that kind of stuff. I'm gonna adjust my camera here a little. Chopping heads off, just fucking people up. And he saves the guy, but he's too late. The guy dies, and he, with his dying breath, he tells me his name is Mike McSwiggan. He's the navigator, geological department. He told me where his shield ship is. He points like, go that way. Then, like a whisper, he passes away. All right, you're a poet, Wolverine, amongst other things. Maybe that's what he is inside. Like his internal monologue, he's all like, hey, bub, and stuff like that. But he's actually like speaks poetry inside his head. That'd be kind of funny. Gives them a decent burial with rocks. Hope there's gonna be fucking animals coming there and just like fuck up these rocks and eat his body. So he gives him a Captain Kirk burial. It says McSwiggan on this cross. Hopefully he's not Jewish or anything, because not everyone is Catholic or whatever. So anyways, goes back and he finds like the shield ship, and it is like not boarded, fenced off. And he's going in there. Shield guys were caught off guard. There are notes everywhere. What are they researching? He's investigating. And then there's an intruder behind him. He's good, silent as a hand ninja. But I smelled him as I entered. Like he realizes it's not a man. Like he can probably smell the menstruation. But it's Shauna, and she comes out of nowhere and stabs him right in the side here, right? And she recognizes him. Wolverine, she's happy to see him. And then they kind of talk about things, and he tells her about the guy that he encountered, the shield agent. He died. She's really upset. So then he asks her what happened here. Again, Cho at his best, great form. So she talks about at the beginning of the book, they crashed, and then they were just like the Savage Land just started fucking them up. They were being attacked constantly, and they did their best to fight back. Days, weeks, months go by right? And they're trying to get off the island any way they can. They can't send a signal because there's a dampening field. They eventually like fight their way through the tribesmen and get to the coast, but then there's like these weird mer people that attack them. And then once they get onto the water after the mer people, it's fucking giant sea creature like comes and attacks them. And it says we were forced to just admit it, we were prisoners on this island. So they couldn't get off for whatever reason. But mate McSwiggan never gave up. He was the stubborn one. He hypothesized that the machine was real, like a dampening field. If it would come down, they could call for rescue. And that's what he was off doing before he got captured and killed. And she's mad at herself for leaving him alone and unguarded. So she's the only one that's left out of those S.H.I.E.L.D. agents. So they're talking about it. And they say that they created a bomb to destroy the dampening field. If they can get the bomb to the dampening field, then they can blow it up and get out of there. Talk about him using his pouches. And she's like, oh, you actually use it for something. But in the back, there come crazy dinosaur things. They crash through. Reapers attack. And now these look like Sauron from, the Dark Lord. They want the One Ring. No, the Sauron, the vampiric mutant thing. Again, he showed up in New Avengers. And, big X-Men villain. And from the Savage Land. So, but there's 3 of them, so it's not Sauron. But these things attack. And Wolverine, he's trying to help, but Shauna, she knows what she's doing. She knows that there's one sneaking up behind her. She's ready for it, but Wolverine doesn't know that. He tries to save her. She's mad. Like, I could have done it. What are you doing? Now, instead of fighting them inside, we're out in the open, and it's harder. And Wolverine's like, boy, I'm dumb. But one of the Saurons, they come and pick up Wolverine, and they fly off with him, and Wolverine's like, I got to get back down there and help her, and I got to get down there fast. So he kills the thing, and he drops. It's like, cripes, this is going to hurt. So this is a page where I think Frank Cho, where they talk about how he pitched the book. He took the weekend, and he came up with the story. He wanted to do it. If you want to screenshot that and read it, I don't know. I didn't. I'm sorry. Issue 2. Again, main focus of Wolverine, but some cool drawings of the layouts, and always one of sexy Shauna. So then we go, and this guy shows up at Savage Land. A guy in a suit, and he's like, Calvin, are you online? And who's he talking to? Who is this guy? I know, but I'll get into it. These tribesmen guy, they come at him. They're saying some shit he doesn't understand. He says skin. He gets this force field, and he's not worried. He's got some kind of crazy technology to take care of him, but these guys are all on him. But he's just like, whatever, let's go. So here we go back to Wolverine. He's falling in the sky. More blank space. But I do like this. He's just falling through the trees, and boom, falls hard on the ground. He gets up, but he was impaled, and it's through the same hole that he got stabbed through. And he's like, what are the odds? Same goddamn hole where Shauna stabbed me. And it's like, it's never going to heal right. So he can take a beating and a hurting, but it still hurts, and it's not something he likes to do. He talking about he needs gives his body time to heal, but he needs to get back to Shauna. So, cool little drawing there. At least it's colored and kind of drawn in, not just white. Like that and that. So she's fighting the Sauron thing. She's down on the ground. I got a nice surprise for you. That'd be a cool thumbnail for the book, for the video, maybe. Wolverine shows up, round 2, and he flies through the air again. I mean, didn't he do that earlier? He's flying through the air. Always flying and jumping, and there he is there. All right, I lost my place. Was that necessary for me to go back and look? Probably not. So we're back, flying through the air, fucking up the Sauron men. Fight. More internal monologue, more white space. Fall took more out of him. The healing factor hasn't had a chance to work, work its magic, but he has to do what he does. Like razors in the wind, their claws flash down for my jugular. More poetry. Wolverine the poet. He's gonna get. These guys are coming in. He's like he can't do anything about it. This is gonna hurt. But then something shoots him, and it's sexy Shauna with a cool gun. And I'm sure he just did this because he wanted to draw her with a gun. So I get it. Like as an artist, you draw what you draw and write what you want to draw. That's what Frank Miller did with Sin City. Frank Miller wanted to draw sexy women and cars and guys in trench coats. So that's what Sin City is. And then she shoots this one in the end, flying away. And he's like, awesome. Any more guns? Like, yeah, but there's no bullets. So that's the end of the bullets. Goes back to this guy and fuck these guys up. And he's talking to like an AI thing. He's trying to figure out where he is, what's going on here. A lot of his technology is not working though, but his universal translator is online. And then he's like, he knows about the dampening field. He's like, show me the source. And then he sees like there's a shield insignia down here. Who's this guy? I'll tell you later. So back to Wolverine and Shauna. He's drinking out of the pond, like a dog. And she's like fixing her foot or something. She says, don't drink that. Like things pee in it and probably get dysentery. And so they're arguing, they're bantering. This is funny. And have they never met? They had to have met, right? I don't know. But she says, you're shorter than I imagined. I always figured you're a tall guy, like that actor Hugh Jackman. Get it? I get it. So they're arguing, and he's like telling her, like, just be quiet. Like, you have to be loud. Just no more distractions. Then it rains. That's a funny gag, I guess. And then he kind of notices that the ground they're on is like getting wet, and it's gonna like drop on them. So he's like, let's back up slowly. And she's like, I know this land like the back of my hand, but she slips and falls and slides. Cool shot. Maybe another good thumbnail for the video. And she's, he goes on after her, and he trips and falls, and they fall and white negative space. Cool. But then he's like, son of a island, and she's like, be very quiet, be very still. And there's all these dinosaurs, whatever they are, kind of velociraptor things. And he says, don't move a muscle, don't make any sudden movements, just be calm. They'll probably back away because they're eating something. Yeah, they're eating a big dinosaur down here. But then he looks, and she just took off. She just ran. So they all jump on him. So, cuts to a different scene. Back with this guy. But he throws something, and it kahooms and args this guy. Blows up a fortress thing. He comes walking in. He's still trying to figure out what's going on. And his universal translator is working, but it needs more language samples. So he needs them to keep talking to figure out what they're saying. So they don't know what's going on. But he just busts in everywhere. Anyway, and he says, it's Cho time. Cho time, sir? And he's like, it's a pun. Work with me. So this guy is actually Amadeus Cho. He first showed up in a Hulk comic not too long before this, a few years, as a kid. There's, some time has gone. He's grown up a little bit. But he was supposed to be like the 9th smartest person in the world, along with Reed Richards, Dr. Doom, Iron Man, whoever else. But he's really, really smart. And it's funny when it says Cho time because, Frank Cho. I'm sure Frank Cho, that was a fun gag for him, whether he says it's Cho time in his personal life. Maybe to his lady friends, it's Cho time. But he's like, he wants to make peace, but he's busting in. I don't know what the fuck you expect them to do. They're going to still attack. Not too smart. More white space. Talking, and he needs more talking. The guy that got arged over on the Cahoon, he's hurt, but they have some like magic shit to heal him up, so that's cool. Oh god, more talking. They need more research. More language for them to understand each other. He pulls a Luke Skywalker thing and uses his technology to hover above them, and his universal translator finally goes online, and they ask, "Are you a god?" And he's like, "Yes, I am." They say, "He's too short to be a god. I bet he's only half god." He's like, "Avert your eyes, you fool." So he basically says, like, convinces them that he's a god. Now they're worshiping him. It's hard to see in the colors, but I've always really enjoyed his inking techniques on how he portrays smoke. It's something I've tried to emulate in some of my stuff, and I've failed. I don't think it's nearly as good as his. So back to Wolverine. He's fighting these fucking velociraptors, and he's trying to get away, and he's cornered into a corner. But Shauna, she throws a spear down, and she kills these things as they're coming, and she used him as bait, basically. He's mad. He's like, "That was bullshit. I ain't baiting your kill box." And they're arguing, and "You need to work on your people skills, lady, blah, blah, blah. She can handle herself." And then they're just arguing, it's cute. That's the end of issue 2. More Wolverine stuff. He's jumping. Cool fucking inking going on here. The textures and stuff that Cho uses, really good stuff. And sexy Shauna, as always. Let's get that in there. And then, what was a Cocoon? And it's Cho time. All right, so we go back to Amadeus Cho down here, and he's talking with the elder tribesman, chief, or whatever. And they got some ladies to offer him, and he's like looking at her, and he pops in, "Don't you like girls, oh Holy One?" "Yes, I like them a lot." And she's all into him, but he's like, "It's all business, so tell her to get away, like go away." So they send her away. But he's like, "Oh, tell her that I'll see her later." She's all happy. Yay. So they're talking, and he's trying to find out information about the island, where they are, what they're doing, what's going on here. And so the chief gives them a history. "In the beginning, a great light appeared from our land, as bright as 100 suns." Something falling and kabooming. And so the star giant came from the light. In his mighty hand, he grasped the Dark Walker. So that's a celestial, right? And he's fighting this fucking weird creature that kind of looks like Man-Thing, but isn't. So he beats it, but they talk about how it can't be slain. He can't kill it for whatever reason. This is very good. But he trapped it and entombed it, right? So the Dark Walker on this island is enslaved. And then he used his powers to shape. We were shaped by his will, and we were tasked with the holy purpose of protecting the great machine. So I don't know if these were like cavemen, Neanderthals, whatever, and turned them into man, or that must be what happened, right? Just jump-started evolution a little bit early, because this was eons ago. So everyone on this island in the Savage Land is here to protect this entombed Dark Walker. Is this light bugging me? It's fucking sun. I don't know if it's distracting you, but it's distracting me. All right. Get back to it. So then they talk about like, they're ready to fuck up anybody who comes by. And then there's like all these different various soldiers throughout time coming to try to find the science or the magic that is on this island. Um, got what, like gladiator shit. I don't know my history. These are conquisted. I don't know. Wild West, um, soldiers from whatever war. And, these guys just protect the island. There's mer people. And so it has been, and so it continues to be. So they're basically, that's what's going on the island and the history of it. So as they're talking, one of these Dark Rider comes back, and they heal it and they wake it up, and they basically these things are sent out, fought Wolverine and Shauna. They fought and got fucked up, and now they're telling us like who it was. Stranger on the island, a man and a woman. The man was dressed in a strange costume with stripes, and he had shiny knife fists. And so he knows that that's Wolverine. He's like, that's probably Shauna the She-Devil. And I'm like, are they friends? He's like, maybe. So these guys still want to fight them. He's like, let's hope it doesn't come to that. But either way, goes back to Shauna and Wolverine, and they're trying to still get to this this place to blow up the bomb and take down the dampening field. So they're looking at shit, and she crawls up a tree. She's telling him how to count right, because he's looking at the guard patrols, and she's like, you need to do it in Mississippi's, because you'll have a better, more accurate count. He's just going 1, 2, 3, but if you go 1 Mississippi. So they're arguing. He's like, whatever, I know what I'm doing. But then he, like, as she leaves, he does the 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. But all of a sudden, if another fucking velociraptor, or whatever the fuck it is, comes and tackles him from behind. They stumble, they fall, he kills it like he does, but it attracts everybody. And there's this guy, he's got like a mask on, he's got some claws, and he doesn't have a cat like I do who likes to come in and mess up everything. If you spray me in the face, cat. And he's like, this is going to be nasty, this is going to be fun. And he says, but this guy's kind of not bowing down, but they think that they're kindred spirits, brothers in arms. He's like, maybe I can talk my way into the temple. So it doesn't want to fight, because they're like, hey, we're cool with each other. We're kind of the same thing. But here falls Shauna. And he's like, what did you do? And she's like, I didn't do anything. The branch broke. She just fell. The branch just broke, and she just fell out of nowhere. But spooks these guys, and they all rush him. So now, big fighting. Oh, more white fucking space. It bugs me, but it's fine, because who cares? This is cool. This took a lot of goddamn time, right? That is just a spectacular double splash page. He's really good at some of these things. I've seen him do it before in comics, and just putting all the detail. I'd get goddamn lazy and tired, and I don't have the patience, and that's why he is who he is, and I am who I am. That's why he is drawing these, and I'm just reading them and reviewing them on the channel. But anyways, fighting, clawing. Rusty, you're getting in the way right at the best part. Hey, buddy, what do you want to say to all the viewers out there? That you're a good kitty? You're a good kitty. Okay, you gotta go, though. Come on. Thank you, buddy. So, internal monologue, more poetry. She's magnificent. Talks about how she's really good. Like a ballerina, she jumps, reaches, and leaps, defying gravity. Everywhere she lands and everything she touches. Flashes of cold steel and hot blood fill the air. Okay. But somebody throws a fucking spear and impales her. I like that. I mean, they gotta do this, but would she be wearing underwear underneath that thing there in real life? In this situation? I don't know. But she gets stabbed. That's fucked up, and it doesn't look good. And Cho comes down. He sees what happened. He's like, oh, God, no. And he's fucking pissed. He yells, Shauna! But then a kitty cat comes and jumps and tackles him, and they go tumbling down a cliff. And he's like, "Oh God, this is Shauna. Like, she's not an enemy. Like, we got to help her. Can your magic do this?" They're like, "No, but there might be a way. There's an ancient ritual. It's dangerous." And they're like, "Let's go. We got to do it." So Cho gets his, the tribe to take her, even though they were just fighting. And then off the cliff comes a hand. Wolverine claws his way back up, and he's fucking pissed. He's gonna kill every last fucker on this island. So that's issue 3. Now we're on to issue 4. Cool image of Wolverine. Cool inking artistic stuff. Hot Shauna. Weird man-thing creature. So they're taking her. They want to do this ritual to try and save her. White space. More white space. So they go and he's like, "Is that man thing?" And they're like, "I don't know what you're talking about." But he's like, "It can't be man thing because, they've seen him around. This thing has been here forever. So the only other explanation, there's more than one man thing. Is that a big deal? I don't know. You tell me." So they're going to do the ritual. They put her in white space, and they lower into the Lazarus pit. They've crossed over into the DC universe suddenly, and they've taken her to Ra's al Ghul's place to drop her in a Lazarus pit. Right? Same idea, same concept. That's cool, I guess. Ugh. So they drop her down. That's kind of cool, lowering her in. That's her forehead and nose. And then she's in there, and some bubbles. And I thought she was going to explode out, but nope. She just quietly comes up, and another good female form drawing of him. Her wounds all taken care of. And she's happy, but she's mad at these guys. But, it's Cho time, and he tells her, like, calm down. Nothing's going on. God, what are they talking about here? A lot of words. She's like, "I died. Yeah, you died. We brought you back." And then they're just like getting their story straight about what they want to do. About the dampening field, she wants to blow it up. But then they're talking about the machine that they want to blow up doesn't just power down the island, and the dampening field is also being used to power the jail cell of the Dark Walker. So if Wolverine blows up the machine that has the dampening field, he's going to release that big Dark Walker, and that's a big no-no. It's like, we got to stop him. So they hear an alarm, and all these guys are coming. Wolverine's charging in. He's pissed. He thinks Sean is dead, right? So he's like going to be coming to kill everybody. He just slashes through people, does what he does best. Want them to see me coming. He's just killing and murdering and blood and guts and all that. And, it's kind of calm. Another body falls, and he's just walking through. He took care of the first wave. And there's this woman here who sounded the alarm. General, whatever. And he's like, "I'm giving you a chance to run away. You're not going to get another one." And even though now it's translated for us, she says, "You're a fool. Today's your day to die." And she brings in these fucking huge Mighty Joe Young gorilla things. The great apes of the temple are here. That's really cool. Like, this is, again, where Frank Cho really excels, with these cool creatures. He's done some cool paintings and illustrations with, apes and gorillas and King Kong and all that kind of stuff. Like, he could draw probably an amazing King Kong versus Godzilla comic. And the way he does, it's again harder to see with the color. There's some like black and whites that we'll look at, but the way he does the inking to show the fur, I just think is really good. I've always admired how he did that. But Wolverine's like, "Okay, let's do this." So he starts fighting the big gorillas. Again, little panels, white space. Let it go, John. Up close kind of shot, so you can't really see what's going on, but he's like lopping off fingers and all that kind of stuff. They kick him or throw him. he gets back up, stabbing him in the eye. His costume is getting torn. Okay, Rusty, see ya. See you next video. And so, he's fighting 3 big gorillas, but it's, no one's really worried for Wolverine. What are they going to do to him? And eventually he just, kills all of them. But it hurts. Dislocated right shoulder, ruptured eardrum, both knees hyperextended, lacerated spinal tendons, twisted hips, torn right hamstrings, slight headache, loss of appetite. I shouldn't be breathing, let alone standing. But he thinks of Shauna and how she's dead. And he's like, he needs to keep going. But Shauna's not dead. She's racing. Oh, no, Rusty. Time to go home. And he's like, here's the place. He's going to blow it up. He's finally there to do what he needs to do. Shauna's racing. She wants to stop him. She yells, stop! And she throws her spear and hits him again in the same hole that he got punctured twice. And he's like, it's the same damn hole. She's like, oh, I'm sorry. And he's like, happy to see that she's alive. But he's like, what happened? Long story. Go reread the book or watch the video sometime. Someone will explain it. And then Amadeus Cho shows up and he's like, we can't do this, blah, blah, blah. But then abnormal energy spike reading. And he's like, oh, what now? And the Incredible Hulk is there. And as far as I know, like Wolverine earlier, here, with this, something brought the Hulk to this place. And I think it's this Dark Walker thing. I don't know if it really says. I should go read it sometime. But that was the end of the issue. So last issue, chapter 5, cool shot of Wolverine, sexy Shauna, crazy creature. Cool art stuff. Dig it. So, we all know the history between Hulk and Wolverine. They don't like each other, and he's like, what are you doing? But, Amadeus Cho, he knows the Hulk. Wasn't he also a Hulk? The totally awesome Hulk or something like that? He turned into a Hulk later. Frank Cho did that for a bit. But anyways, Hulk knows Amadeus Cho, and he's trying to get him to stop. And they calm down. And, he retracts his claws. But out of nowhere, one of the big apes, I guess it's still alive, comes and hurts Hulk. So Hulk is pissed. He's not the Incredible Hulk for nothing. He's angry all the time. And he's throwing this thing, and he's going to fight this fucking gorilla, which he's doing, but he's getting more and more pissed. But they say we have to separate them before they tear this place apart. They're going to mess things up, and they're going to damage the machine just like the bomb would have done. So he says, distract the monkey, Shauna, which he does, flying kick out of nowhere. And then one side show the bruiser's mind. So Wolverine goes into the Hulk, jumping Wolverine again. And with his claw, jumping at the Hulk, tension is building up, and he fucking stabs him in the fucking brain and ear through the head. Now that's not going to kill the Hulk with the chuck, but that's gonna drop him to his knees, and that's gonna make him stop for a little bit. And good job, Wolverine. But the integrity of the place is starting to come apart. The place they're in, for whatever reason, is gonna bury them. So they're like, we got to get out. So Cho flies out with Shauna, and then she's like, where's Wolverine? As the thing is coming down and trying to bury them, and he comes out of the rubble. And then they look, and they look up, and there's the Dark Walker. It's free from its tomb. The thing that they didn't want to have happen did happen, and they're looking up at it. They're like, oh God, what do we do here? now. And Cho is talking to his AI, and throughout the whole book, the AI is just telling him, get out of there. There's an exit strategy. Just go and leave. Like, you can't do anything with this. And that's what it's telling him here. Just leave. There's nothing you can do. And then they're like, well, I still got this bomb. If I can, like, take this bomb up there and, like, put it inside him, maybe, like, it can blow it up and kill it. And the Hulk's like, give me that. I'll take care of you. And he's like, I'll be back for you, Run. I owe you a headache. He's still pissed, but he understands. So he jumps into the sky, and he's going to Hulk smash it like he did in Thor Ragnarok. Ugh, that movie. But this Dark Walker thing just swats him away, thooms him out. And Hulk goes flying. He's falling. He still has the bomb, which explodes around him. He's tumbling, his smoking body. And then that sea creature comes out of the water and just chomps him and goes back and takes the Hulk down with him. We're like, oh, damn. Wow. And he's like, you have to admit, that was pretty awesome and funny. So the Dark Walker thing, it's pretty big. He'll tell us later how big it is, like 150 feet or something like that. It's going out of the mountain, and it just flies up and flies up and flies out, and it's gone. And they're like, well, what do we do now? And Wolverine's like, go home. What do you fucking expect me to do about it? Except maybe fill in some of this, like, negative space back here. He's like, I'm going to call Reed Richards, tell him what happened, pray that thing doesn't come back. And then Cho, he's like, when he wanted to know who won the Super Bowl, he was asking people throughout the whole thing. And now the dampening field's down, I guess he was able to find out the 49ers lost. Don't know, don't care. So it goes in space, and this Dark Walker's flying through space, and he goes into this whatever you is. I don't know what this fucking thing, flies to this big thing. It's a base of some kind of weird organic base. He goes inside, and he lands, and he's walking through this place, and he comes up to this creepy thing here, and he's like, Master Visherak. Ah, Morgan, my long-lost herald returns to me at last. And so there's this huge fucking guy. And what news you bring to me, my loyal servant? He says, I bring news that will appease your eternal hunger. I have found a galaxy rich with planets for you to feast upon, my master. So now there's this thing was, it's just serving this bigger thing. This crab. I don't know. It's not even a crab. It's just this weird creature thing. And he's like, once more my hibernation comes to an end. Once more my hunger draws to a close. And the cycle begins anew. Once more Visherak feeds. And then that's the end. And it's like, okay, what? What is this? I have no idea what this thing is. I have no idea if it ever pops up anywhere in the Marvel Universe ever again. It explains to us a little bit back here in the notes. We'll get to it in a second. But this is kind of a version of Galactus. He feeds on worlds. He's big. He kind of has the same color scheme. Has like kind of the weird head, like Galactus's helmet. These are horns. And this is his herald, like the Silver Surfer. And he goes out to find worlds, and he consumes them. So, okay. What are we going to know about that? I don't know. Yeah, I know about that. So we get into some of the covers. This is a painting by Frank Cho. It looks like he's done a lot of painting, cool skull background. I think he does acrylic or oil paintings. I think he does oil paints. Let's see. Joe Quesada, Danny Miki, Richard Eisenoff with colors. Like that's cool drawing by Joe Quesada. Scotty Young, little cute Wolverine. Gabriel Del Otto. Nice painting. I like that image of Wolverine. Sexy Shauna there with the moon in the back. J. Scott Campbell, get him involved in this shit. He's always going to draw sexy women and like some cool badass guys with Wolverine like that. Milo Manara, he's always known for drawing erotic pinups. He did that Spider-Woman thing that Frank Cho admired and parodied with his Spider-Woman shit. Did the outrage stuff. We'll look at some of that stuff maybe. I think I got I think they talk about it in one of the sketchbooks I have of his. That's a nice piece of art by Manara. Adi Granov. I like that Wolverine. That's cool looking. Lionel Francis Yu. He's done a bunch of Wolverine stuff. We're gonna get into some stuff he's been part of, like Secret Invasion as an artist. Enjoy his stuff. Dave Johnson. Do I know who Dave Johnson is? I don't think so. Some black and white stuff of the covers. You can see a little bit more. More covers. Some of the black and white without the colors just looks so much better. I wonder if you can get this book without the colors at all. So, yeah, Morgan, the Herald of Visharak. 150 feet standing, trapped in Savage Land, but freed by Wolverine Hulk. Good going, stupid. Power similar to the Silver Surfer. All right. Can walk on 2 legs. Cool. Visharak, the second Galactus. Yeah. Stands 1,200 feet tall, exoskeleton, craggy and spiky like a crab. Oh, somebody said crab. I wasn't wrong. 6 limbs. Devours the life force of a planet, travels in a giant oyster-like ship size of a small moon. Commands an army of insect-like drones who maintain the ship. They also make up the advanced scouting force. So, did he do anything? I'm going to have to, research this. And then some cool, progress shots of a page. You know, the layout, the rough sketches. And there you can see, the black and white inks. And then, the final colors. So that's all neat. You always like to see this kind of stuff in a book like this. Again, you can see kind of the progress. He knows what he's doing with the perspectives. I really struggle with perspectives to have all my life. But all the detail in this line work, really good. He's a master of the pen. He's studied black and white artists. He's similar to Arthur Adams. He's similar Bernie Wrightson, I think, is that artist who does some cool black and white stuff. You can see the influence there. This is what I was talking about with the fur and what he's able to do with the inking of the pen. Yeah, I wish I could do stuff like that. I mean, if I had more time, if I had more patience. Now I have a kid, a toddler, who takes up most of my time, plus I have a full-time job. When I didn't have a kid, or when I was single, I wish I would have studied more, taken the time and effort. Even this stuff is really cool. And then, whatever this is, variant cover by Gabriel Dell'Otto. That's cool. Bendis did X-Men, that's right. Wolverine. X-Men versus Wild. So there you go. Savage Wolverine. Cool stuff. I mean, basic story, but Frank Cho is really great at his craft, and I really enjoy his art, and I'm going to show more and more of stuff of what he does. So what did you think of this story? What would you like me to do next? What do you want to see in the future? Do you like Frank Cho as an artist, as a writer? Tell me what you like. Hit that like and comment and subscribe, all that kind of stupid stuff. Sorry that these were in 2 separate videos. I'll try and get my phone situation taken care of. But in the meantime, what are we going to look at next? These are Savage Wolverine issues 1 through 5. We're going to look at Savage Wolverine next issues, at least the next 3 issues that were done by Joe Madureira. We'll get into that next time. So thank you for watching. See you at the next video.